What's up, this is B, the installer, and I am here with my lovely wife Jen to unbox this massive 85-inch Samsung QN90A right before the Super Bowl. It's for a buddy, he's gonna go to his house, but first I wanted to get it in my house, take it out, make sure it's all good, give it a little QC check, make sure that the dirty screen effect isn't too massive. What's up, Caesar? So I'm gonna do all that for you now, and then I'm also going to compare it to the A90J that is right over there. 83-inch A90J and an 85-inch QN90A. So that should be awesome as well. Hey, shh. No, there's no growling on set. No growling on set, Caesar. First, a quick word from our sponsor, NordVPN. As a TV guy, there's nothing more frustrating than when I'm trying to find that perfect movie to watch and nope, it's only available in Europe? Or when I simply want to watch a local sporting event and it's blacked out in my region. Why am I paying hundreds per year to watch all these games and movies only to get denied by my current location? Well, NordVPN to the rescue. NordVPN has over 5,200 servers in 59 countries to assure your web browsing and streaming freedom. Aside from the fantastic security and privacy that blocks all these greedy media companies from trying to steal your metadata, NordVPN allows you to access sports gaming sites that may not be available in your location and can help you get in early on the best new crypto that isn't available on your regional platform. NordVPN works with PC, Mac, Android, and iPhone. So for the love of your family movie night or your favorite sports team or that cryptocurrency that's about to 10x, click on the link in the description, NordVPN/installer or promo code installer and get 2 years of service with a massive discount. And of course, you have a 30-day money-back guarantee. All right, with all that out of the way, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe, ring the notification bell and all that. And let me know in the comments, what is the biggest turnoff for TVs of this size? Is it that you can get one that may have the dirty screen effect, or that it's so big you don't know where to put it, or you need an installer? Let me know in the comments. So let's get these bands broken, and then we got to pull off. There's 2 in the front, 2 in the back of the little clips, and then some on the end, so we can just take the box off the side and not have to, you know, cut it up so badly. So just pull these clips out. There's one down here, and there's one on this side. And then we just have the piece of tape on top here. Let's just go ahead and pull the tape off the top and we can open it up. Sorry. All right. So let's see. If we open that up, take the box off. All right, so we can just open it up now and slide it off. So why don't you separate those two? Can you? All right, we'll get these out of the way. I'll just pull them this way. Watch the TV. Thank you. So much more space. If you have caught any of my other unboxings, this is much more space than we're used to working with for these large TVs, so happy to have it. We have the remote and we have the power cord, and this is a pretty substantial stand for this. We'll show you that in a second, but let's just kind of take apart the styrofoam now, which is most crucial. You want to just start peeling pieces, or do you want to continue to just beautifully hold the TV? Or hold the TV beautifully. Pull these out. Oh, this guy's got a, I don't think that was on the other TVs. That's a nice piece of bubble wrap. The kids would love to jump on that and drive us nuts. So I'm gonna open up the packaging and see how they recommend putting the stand on. I think the last time that I did an 85-inch, it was the Q90T 85-inch. And we just set the stand on the ground, put the other piece in the back of the TV, and then just did it vertically. So let me just see what it says here in the manual. All right, so after checking with the instructions, they're actually written kind of on the back here too. As an installer, sometimes I rush through this and I'll do it my own way, but you know, it's pretty plain and simple there. All we have to do is squeeze this end piece and this cardboard comes out. There we go. And we'll lay this down, and then we can do the same on the other side and lay that down. And then, and then these pieces here that were on the side right here now act as some bracing. So we can set those down and slide them under, and that will hold the TV still, or it should. Come on, Caesar. All right. So let's see, does that make it more sturdy? We'll see. So then we're gonna pull out this piece of metal here, which is the stand, the heavy part of the stand. be careful not to scratch the TV while you're doing it. And the TV will get less stable once you pull that out because that is a bottom weight. So now we're really relying on that styrofoam. It's not great, but it'll work. And then I guess this piece lifts off right here in the middle. Well, one of them did. We got to get that other piece out. Maybe it comes out from the front. You got to lift up the TV just a little bit. There we go. All right, so we have both pieces out, and now what's left is just this plastic we can remove, get rid of it. I have to box this back up, so I'm trying not to destroy everything. But we'll move that piece, and now we have access to the back of the TV here, and we can put our two pieces of the stand together, slide them in. So we'll take the 4 screws and connect them down to these 2 pieces here. All right, and then this should just fit underneath the TV, but I have a feeling it's not going to fit perfectly. Let's see. All right, so the top 2 hooked on, and the bottom ones just sit there. So what we have to do now is put these 4 screws in. It's just that this stand is suspended in air, which is kind of awkward. Most of that pressure is against the plastic part of the TV. So let's screw these in. The top 2, make sure that they're in nice and tight. And then it is pulling the stand in a little bit tighter to the TV. The bottom ones will be a little harder to thread in there. There we go. And as I screw them in, it's definitely making the stand feel more secure, so that's good. Once we have these on, then we're going to put it on our fantastic Rubbermaid table and show you how beautiful it looks. But I'm not sure that this stand is great for an 85-inch TV, and I'll talk about that in a minute. I like the LG C1 stand for big TVs. So now we're going to take this TV and put it up on the table, show you what it looks like, show you some of the features, and then check the quality control, and then compare it to the A90J. So a lot to do. Let's get it up on that table. We have the plastic pulled down. We're going to try to get into this TV a little bit so we have a firm grip. So I'm going to kick these 2 off. We'll hold the TV while we're doing it so that they don't tip, but it's on the stand. It should be fine. There's some holes in the back for your hand to get in there. It still will be quite the lift. Are you going to have enough room by that speaker?
Guess we'll find out.
We'll find out, okay? Let's go ahead and get underneath it. It's going to be a heavy one. Yeah. All right, try to kick those off. Okay, go ahead and set it on top. You got it? All right. Go up, upsy daisy. You're going to have to get it more on the end. All right. Let's move that stuff out of the way. Okay. All right. So I don't even know if we're centered. Does it look centered-ish? And this is the thing. It's really high up. It's such a big, heavy TV. Even having it on this stand is something that I'm like, meh. This is probably a TV that I'd want to have installed on the wall just because I'd almost feel like more so than a lot of furniture from IKEA, I would have to have something holding this TV up, because if there's anything that's a tipping hazard, with or without this awesome table, it's this TV being like literally 4 feet tall. So
no disrespect to Rubbermaid.
All right, thank you for the help. We're good for a bit. I appreciate it. So before I turn this sucker on, I wanted to show you guys how awesome this remote is. Very simple, basic power button, up, down, left, right, back button, home button. It has, simple up and down for volume, and the same for channels. And then of course you have Netflix, Prime Video, and Samsung Plus. They're all pretty decent, and I think it's a great remote. You can charge it via USB, which is great, or any kind of light will keep it charged. So great remote. Let's go ahead and fire this up. Woo, that thing is bright. So I definitely like Tizen OS. It's not bad at all. A lot of these are downloading right now, so it's gonna take a minute for us to get YouTube on and check out how the screen is looking, but the Samsung TV Plus channels are solid. There is some stuff you can get into. And then it has all the apps you'd want. I don't know of an app that it doesn't have. Maybe you guys can let me know in the comments. I do like the split screen, the multi-view, it's great. The ability to add your phone to one side and an input on the other, or a game on one side and an app on the other. You can't use 2 HDMIs at once, I don't believe, but you still can use up to 4 different things on the screen, 4 apps or sources and all that. So it's pretty cool. I like it, and I like Tizen OS in general. Okay, so I have this looking as good as I can with a shutter speed of 1/40th of a second, because anything higher makes it have horizontal bands. This still does have a little bit of horizontal bands that are kind of going down the screen. But if you just look when the hockey player goes fast, you can see that there is a little bit of dirty screen on this panel. Although in person, it's actually better than it is on camera. Overall, it's not perfect, but I don't think this would show up too much in real world content, except for probably hockey games or something that is very bright, skyline moving left to right. So it's a tough call, because for the price of this TV versus the size, the quality, and the unlikeliness that you'll see this in regular content, I would have to say it's borderline, probably would pass with most people. Most people probably wouldn't even notice this if I didn't pull this test up. For me, that's still a concern with Samsung TVs in general. So let's go ahead and compare this versus the A90J, because I tell you what, this TV is quite bright and it looks quite nice. Okay, now we have both TVs up here. On the left, we have the 85-inch Samsung QN90A, and on the right, we have the 83-inch Sony A90J. Both these TVs are awesome, not gonna lie. As you can see on this screen right here, the QN90A on the left is a little brighter. Just a real quick step back, if we go into the screensaver, you can see when it's a bright screensaver, the QN90A is obviously brighter on the left, the top, especially the sunset or whatever. The detail on the Samsung is a little better, but the contrast is better obviously on the OLED. And you can see a couple little lights on the bottom of the OLED. I don't know if you guys can see that because it's really hard to tell, but if I increase the ISO, it's pretty difficult. The specular highlights on the Sony are just a little bit better, a little brighter on the pixel level, but it doesn't really help to crank up the ISO to show you, just because it blows out the whole image. Again, once you get it into a brighter scene, the Samsung definitely has a little more pop to it, while the Sony has a little more contrast, but I don't know which people would prefer. In a daytime, bright room, you probably prefer to have the brighter image. At night in a theater room, you don't typically need all that brightness. So again, both these TVs are great. Looks like the bezel on the Sony might be a little bit bigger around the edge of the TV, whereas the Samsung's a little bit smaller. Obviously the OLED's a little thinner at the top, but the Samsung is thinner overall. And on the wall, I don't think you'd notice the difference much. Both of these TVs are pretty cool. All right, so if you're just watching regular content in a typically lit room, this might be a little below average actually. They look very similar. I would be happy with either one of these TVs. I can't tell much of a difference, so I'm not sure if that's better for the Sony that costs twice as much, or better for the Samsung that's half as much but should be 2 or 3 times brighter in SDR. So it's tough to tell. There's a lot of aggressive dimming on the Samsung QN90A, but I've always been happy with the OLEDs in daylight. Now, if we're gonna crank it up and make it a very bright room, let me show you what that looks like. So now you got a brighter room. Alexa, turn couch lights on.
Okay.
All right, so now we're watching in a super bright room. We got all kinds of light in here. And you can see that the reflections are handled a little better by the Samsung than the Sony. I mean, again, if you give this much glare onto your TV, it's going to be tough for any TV to handle it. But typically, when you get to brighter content, which I can show you some brighter content. So if you get some bright stuff, even just these HD commercials typically get pretty bright. So you can see that the combination of the anti-reflective coating and the fact that the TV is just brighter makes the Samsung better for a bright room. I mean, the color in the trees in the Samsung are just far superior. The color on the Sony A90J is probably more accurate, but it's not quite as bright and vivid. They're both in movie modes. The A90J is calibrated, the Samsung is not. I don't think that makes a huge difference here. I think both of them are pretty much unleashed. They're not in vivid mode, so it's not like over exaggerating anything, but you know, when you're watching HDR in the daytime, or even just your typical cable, SDR stuff, sports, those kind of things, the Samsung will be brighter, and you can kind of see that here. So that's what it looks like in a bright room. Let's take the light down and see what it looks in a dark room and see if there's an advantage, because so far these TVs are very close. Okay, so we're in a dark room. This is full screen HDR though, and again, it's so close, it's very hard for me to say one is better than the other. Full screen, I can't tell a huge difference here. I think they both look great, but let's go into something that has the widescreen. Like let's go into Disney Plus and just play an Avengers movie or something and just see what we think about that. So this is Marvel Eternals in widescreen. You can get it in the IMAX version, which is really good for a lot of the LCD-based TVs that have the blooming in the corners, but I don't really see blooming on the top or the bottom. The Samsung QN90A is great for that, but it does suppress some of the highlights, and when you get it down to the really small highlights in these kind of movies, it does look a little better on the OLED, but again, very similar TVs. So I don't know what this puts it at for you guys. Is it better to get the Samsung at half the price, no Dolby Vision, LCD-based TV, maybe a little bit of the dirty screen, or opt for the OLED at twice the cost? So pretty difficult decision. Okay, so I hope this gives you a great idea of what the 85-inch QN90A can give you. I think it's great for, you know, sports, for bright movies, for bright rooms. I mean, there are some downsides which kind of got me early on in the year, like the dirty screen effect, where you can kind of see the streakings down the center of the screen. This TV wasn't as bad as the one that I had reviewed earlier, but if you can get past that, or if you don't even look for that, or don't care about that, or have had Samsung in the past, you're probably fine there. And with that TV being half the price of the A90J 83-inch OLED, I think a lot of people will opt for Samsung just because they're comfortable with the brand and it's a great TV, great size. Would be really good for the Super Bowl and other sports. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to smash the like button on your way out. Let me know what you guys think. Are you going to get either of these TVs for the Super Bowl or other sports as the year goes on? Or what TVs are you looking forward to? Let me know in the comment. And make sure to check out one of the install videos so you can be the installer.